I am super excited about today's room. It's funny because as I was getting ready to get on this call and kind of mentally rehearsing it, I realized that I start all my rooms and all my hypnosis sessions by saying, I am so excited about this call. And I thought, okay, what should I say instead? And then I thought, you know what if I just go with it? I'm just going to leave that. And it's an anchor to the awesomeness that is in store for us today. I want to start by saying that I am recording this room. That's a stipulation inside Clubhouse. They want to make sure that everyone in the room knows that I am recording the room. So if you decide to come up on stage, which you are so welcome to do, and share or ask questions at any time, I will probably remind you that we are recording. And I'm doing something brand new today. I actually tried this on the last Clubhouse call that I did, and it was a complete fail, which is to record this through video so that I can put it up on YouTube or perhaps on Facebook and let people see this as a video as well. And last time I kept looking down at my phone the whole time. So now I have my phone propped right where I can look at it and not be diverting my eyes too much. And I have if you can't beat it, join it hair. Because I went on a walk this morning and it's very foggy and dewy out. It was so beautiful, but my hair was like damp and frizzy. And so I just sprayed some texture spray in it and I have ridiculous hair. So today I want to talk about how our words can cast spells. And the title of the room is Hint, You're Already Good at It. And I'm not talking about casting spells in the sense of doing this with intention and doing this, the way that some people would do it in like witchcraft or voodoo or the various, I know very little about those topics. So I just want you to know that what I'm speaking of is the way we use our words and the impact they have on other people, the impact they have on ourselves, the way other people's words impact us. I want to bring an awareness to you of the power of our words and give you concrete action steps that will allow you to start using your words in a more empowering way and cast the kind of spells you want to cast, most likely, and hopefully spells for just helping people, empowering yourself, and infusing positivity and hope and joy into the world. And then I'm also going to give you some really cool tools for insulating and protecting yourself from other people's words. So often, so I'm going to talk about the words we say, the words that others say to us, and most importantly, the words that we say to ourselves. And I want you to understand right from the start that the most important words in the universe are the words that you say to yourself. And I don't believe that you have any control or power over the words you say to others or ability to protect yourself from the words other people say to you until you have, I don't want to say mastered, but even just set an intention to start to transform the words that you say to yourself. And those of you who have heard me talk about self-talk in the past, I'm going to say something a little bit outside the box today. I'm going to challenge something that I have been saying for quite some time. And this is based on a book that I've been reading called The Big Leap, and then a follow-up book called The Genius Zone. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. Both of those are by Gay Hendricks, Gayhendricks. So usually when I'm teaching people about changing their self-talk, I'll say two things cannot occupy the same place at the same time. So the best way to crowd out the negative self-talk is to infuse positive self-talk behind it. So if you're saying, oh, what if I screw up? What if I get on Clubhouse and I make a total fool of myself, or I'm looking in the wrong place the whole time now that I'm recording on video? And you start to have these negative what ifs going through your head. I've learned, especially in the context of presenting and public speaking or doing group hypnosis sessions, is to start imagining something good happening and saying, what if I do an incredible job? What if this goes really well? What if this video goes viral, even though my hair is super frizzy right now? And start to create some, switch around that self-talk. And I still do believe this is powerful. But Gay Hendricks is talking about how important it is just to acknowledge the negativity that's going through our head sometimes, just to get quiet and notice. He calls it back talk. Notice the things that you're saying to yourself. Maybe you throw a positive affirmation out there like, this video recording is going to be absolutely amazing. And then just notice what comes up. Maybe it's going to be a feeling of nervousness in the body, or no, it's not. What if you totally screw up? What if you look in the wrong place the whole time? What if you're so nervous that you stumble over your words? And so what you can do is just start to make friends with those words. Just acknowledge them, just give them space to be. Perhaps notice the sensations that happen in your body when you feel that negativity. I believe it's Yoda who says, name your fears, you must, before banish them, you can. I don't know if I've got that right, but it sounds good, right? And when we start to actually pay attention to the negative self-talk that is causing us to freak out or feel sad or feel depressed or feel anxious, there's always a soundtrack underneath those feelings. And when we start to get quiet and just tune into that self-talk, it then gives us the ability to allow it to move through us. And then we can bring in those positive statements. So I want to invite you to practice this little exercise with me. Think about an area in your life where you have a limiting belief. Perhaps it's a place where you are wanting to move forward and you're scared. Perhaps it's a place where you feel insecure or negative. You know, I know a lot of women struggle with their weight and they think they have to put their happiness on hold until they've attained a certain body size, or until we have a certain wardrobe, or until, we put our happiness on hold until X happens. And so just let yourself feel that anxious or sad or frustrated or discouraged feeling for a moment. And just notice where in your body you feel that feeling. And one of the best ways to do this is to put yourself in the situation when you most recently felt this way. It could have been just before you got on this call. It could have been when you were getting out of bed this morning. Just notice the last time you were feeling that insecure or negative feeling, and just notice your self-talk. And it's okay to make it up. Just notice to yourself, what am I thinking right now? And try on this thought. What is the soundtrack that goes along with this feeling? And now I want you just to acknowledge those words. Don't try to resist them. Don't try to change them. Don't try to crowd them out. Just acknowledge, this is what I'm thinking about this situation, almost as if you could see those words and beliefs floating past you, and just say, hi. And now I'd like you just to maybe even repeat some of those negative things in your mind. And as you repeat them, just take a deep inhale and a long, slow exhale. And notice how when you say those negative things from this relaxed space, it gives you a little bit more space to start to question those negative words. And now I'd like you once more, I'm going to walk you through an NLP protocol real quick. I think you guys will love this if you haven't experienced it. Put yourself back in that situation where you were feeling that negative feeling and saying those things to yourself, and just grab onto one of those pieces of negative self-talk and hear it in your mind. Hear yourself saying it. And I just want you to notice. And this is just pretend. I want you to be really instinctive with this and just go with the first thing that comes to mind, even if it seems silly and you feel like you're making it up. If you could point at where that voice, those words were coming from, where would it be? Just point at it right now. Perhaps you're pointing someplace at your body, like it's coming from inside of you. Perhaps you're pointing someplace out into the space around you, as if it's coming from somewhere external. Whatever you're pointing at, you are right. You're doing this right. And now I'd like you to just notice, whose voice is this? And again, first answer that comes to mind. You might be surprised to notice that it's not your own voice. Perhaps it's a voice from someone in the past who has said these things to you. Maybe it is your voice, and maybe it's like a scared child version of your voice. And just hear it once more and notice again where in your body you feel this the most. And on a scale of 1 to 10, how intense is that negative emotion when you hear these words being spoken to yourself from this space? And just make a mental note of that number. And now what I'd like you to do is imagine that the space where you pointed, the place where you imagine that voice to be coming from, imagine that that voice just drops to the floor down by your big toe. If you're driving, perhaps you can just imagine it dropping down through the floor onto the road beneath you. And if it's by your big toe, just give it a little kick. I want you to physically move your foot and give it a little kick, like you're scooting it across the room. Maybe you even hear the sound effects of it scooting across the room, and then look at it over there. If you're in your car, you can just be aware of it being on the street back there. And now I want you to imagine turning the voice into like Mickey Mouse's voice or Donald Duck's voice, or the voice of someone who is so ridiculous that you would never, ever believe them. And imagine hearing that voice from way over there saying that thing. And notice when you hear that thing being said from way over there or way back there if you're driving, how does that change the way you feel about yourself? How does that transform that feeling? And now I want you just to ask yourself, I wonder what I could say to myself to empower myself in this situation. Or let's keep it simple. I wonder what I could say to myself to feel better. And just allow yourself to create some kind of a positive statement to yourself about that situation that was bothering you. It could be as simple as, I would like to feel better. Or what if I could feel better about this? And I'd like you to imagine, think of a person who has absolute authority in your life, someone loving and kind and good, who you absolutely know has your best interest in mind. And I want you to imagine that person being right here with you and speaking those words to yourself, even if it's, I wonder if you can feel even better. Imagine them speaking those words to you as if you could hear them right now. And notice where those words live. If you were to point at where you hear those words coming from, that's a poorly worded sentence. Where are those words coming from? You're doing well. And now I'd like you to imagine that you could just pull those words inside yourself to the core of your being and just perhaps turn up the volume, make them sound even more sweet, and just say those once more. I wonder if I could feel better. And as you feel this, as you notice the way that feels in the body when you speak those powerful, positive words to yourself, I want you to go back into that situation that you thought of at the beginning, the one where you used to have that negative limiting belief, and notice how it transforms when you bring this self-talk into it. You're doing well. And if you would just check back in with that feeling on a scale of 1 to 10, that negative feeling you used to have, notice how it transforms when you say this self-talk to yourself. Hear it once more as you notice the way that feeling has transformed. And notice where it is now on a scale of 1 to 10. And then I have a favor to ask you. If you're here in Clubhouse with me and you're on the live call, if that feeling transformed by doing this exercise, will you put your hand up and let me know if that feeling decreased and transformed in a positive way? And I'll wait just a moment. Oh, good. I'm seeing hands pop up. Awesome. Thank you, everyone. You're welcome to lower your hands back down. And now I want to talk to you about, so the premise of this, the moral of the story, the thing I want you to take away from this is when you notice yourself thinking negative things to yourself, when you notice yourself feeling negatively and you start to tune in to the words that are underneath that negative feeling, and they are there, they're usually just so automatic that we're recycling them on autopilot and we don't even realize we're saying them. And often we don't even realize that someone else installed those words and they're not our words at all. So when you notice yourself feeling negatively and thinking negative thoughts. I believe it's Daniel Amen who calls them ants, automatic negative thoughts. When you notice them, and they are automatic, so don't beat yourself up. Don't try to squish them out. Don't try to push them away. Don't resist them. Just acknowledge them and feel them and notice where in your body you feel those negative thoughts. And then just allow that acknowledgement to let them soften and transform and relax. You could even do that quick little exercise that we did, and you can do it much quicker than I did just now by imagining those words falling to the floor and kicking them away. Feel them first, and then start to ask yourself, what if I could feel differently? So this book, I was listening to it on my walk this morning, and I was taking notes for you all and thinking, I'm going to put this into this room. Because Gay Hendricks in his book talked about the wonder question. So again, if you've popped into Clubhouse after I mentioned it, this is from his book called The Genius Zone. I'm almost sure that's what it's called. I know it has those words in it. They might be in a different order. He talks about the wonder question. And he says that wonder questions take you into a place of infinity. And they start with, and lead you into a space of creative possibility and problem solving. So what I would like you to do, if you're in a place where you're able to do this, I want you to voice that word, which I don't even know if it's a word, to yourself. Just let yourself hear your voice say, And you can even play around with it until it feels right, till you can feel it vibrate in your chest in a way that feels pleasant. There's something energetic that shifts when we move into a place of wonder and curiosity. It helps us move out of that place of resistance, out of that place of trying to not feel a certain way, and lets us start to open ourselves up to feeling a new way. And so I invite you just to start trying on some wonder questions to solve different problems in your life. As I was listening to this audio this morning, I was thinking about something that's been nagging at me in the back of my mind for weeks now. And he was talking about how when we stop resisting and we just let ourselves get curious and start to wonder about our experience, it lets things shift. So I had this really cool breakthrough on my walk this morning. So let yourself just start to feel into the wonder of your question. So a question could be something as simple as, let's say you're struggling with a business decision and you feel like you're stuck in your business and you're maybe getting worried because of financial obligations. Anytime we try to create from a place of constriction and tension and worry and stress, it stifles our creativity. It's nearly impossible. And when we let ourselves start to open up and create space and get into a place of creativity, everything shifts. So let's say a person is really struggling with wanting to move forward in their business and they're feeling stuck. You could say, I wonder how I can make an excellent living by doing what I love. Or, what is one thing that I love doing the most, and how can I share it with others in a way that empowers and inspires them? So I challenge you to create some wonder questions for yourself. And I'm going to give you one big rule in creating this question. And that is, as you're writing down the question, and I do encourage you to write it down by hand. When we write, it actually triggers a different creative part of our brain and allows us to problem solve much more effectively than just thinking the question or typing it out. So write down a question that essentially, if somebody were to paint a picture based on the question you asked, that it would paint a beautiful picture of something positive. So you don't want to ask questions like, how can I stop eating so much every time I go to this restaurant? Or how can I stop struggling with my weight? Or how can I stop sabotaging my success every time I try to go to level up in my business? Because those are all essentially creating a picture of something negative and then trying to cancel it out. This can be demonstrated really well by thinking about if you were talking to a child and you said, don't spill the milk, you are actually creating a mental image in their little mind of spilling the milk and like drawing a line through it and telling them what not to do. I was looking at myself on the camera just now when I drew a line through it, and my fake lipstick, I have Zoom puts lipstick on my lips, and my fake lipstick flickered when my hand went past my lips. I think that's amusing. So if any of you wants to see this video later, it's going to be on YouTube and it will have the same title as this room. So you want to make sure that your words are creating positive images. So if you think about telling the child, carry the glass carefully, walk very slowly and set that down on the table very carefully. You're creating almost like a movie in their head of how you want them to move, and their whole body is listening, and it skyrockets their chances of success. So when you create your empowering questions, when you create your wonder questions, start them with the word or we should just say the sound and then plug in that wonder question that will allow you to start to open yourself up to positivity and possibility. And then another rule, I'm giving you 2 rules. I think I might have said 1. The other rule is don't try to think of the answer. Don't try to start turning your conscious mind back on and start to brainstorm ways of getting what you want. Just get into this place of curiosity and wonder and let your unconscious mind start to tune the reticular activating system of your brain to find really creative, amazing solutions. Most often, in fact, perhaps always, I feel like whenever really incredible answers come to us from our highest self, from God, from the universe, whatever your belief is about where you get these answers, I believe that they come to us in moments of stillness, moments of wonder, moments of creativity. For me, these answers come if I'm in the shower. When we're around water, it inspires wonder, it inspires answers. And, this morning on my walk, I was in this dewy, foggy environment, and I could smell the ozone in the air and see, I love the fog. And I found so many answers to things that I had been looking for. I could have stayed home and ruminated and tried to figure out how to solve these problems on my own, or I can ask a wonder question and get curious and just get out in nature or get in the shower or do something that I enjoy and just allow the answer to come. So your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to notice when you're feeling negativity, whether it's in the form of anxiety, stress, fear, anger, whatever it is. Just notice when you're in those moments of negativity and just allow yourself to feel it. Stop resisting it and just allow it to be there. And then notice the words that come along with it. And then allow those words don't try to make them go away. You don't even need to try to make them drop to the floor so you can kick them across. Just feel them. And as they begin to soften and loosen and relax, then you can bring in some positive, curiosity sparking wonder questions by asking yourself, how can I feel the opposite? But that's not a good one because it's still saying the opposite of what? Of the negative thing. But how can I feel something absolutely amazing? One great way to think about this, to create and craft your perfect one, and perfect isn't a thing, but your best wonder question, is to answer the question, if this negative thing was a thing of the past, what would be there in its place? And start to conceive how good life can be when you have moved into that new place. All right. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so grateful to you all. I hope that this flowed okay. It's really weird how I have to get comfortable in a new comfort zone by recording this on video now. A few weeks ago, I started recording these on audio, and then I give people the recording because a lot of people can't make it to these rooms, or people who are in the rooms want the replay. So if you want the replay, just message me, preferably on Instagram or Facebook, and I will send it to you at no cost. And I have a enticing offer for you all. If you've been looking for answers, if there's things that you've been wondering about or things that you've been resisting and you're wanting to get some answers and some clarity, I have a really awesome hypnosis audio called The Answer Room, and I would love to give it to you. You can get it right now by either opening your phone or whatever device you're listening to if you're not here in Clubhouse, and go to trancypants.com/answer room. So again, that's trancypants.com/ANSWERROOM. Answer Room, all one word, all lowercase. If you are listening to the replay of this, then I sent you that Answer Room audio with this replay, and it's in an email from me. So thank you all so much for being here. I do these rooms every Monday and Wednesday at the time that it is right now in your time zone. And if you click on my picture right now and then scroll to the bottom, you'll see all my clubs. And the very first club on there is called the Hypnosis Club. And that is my club where all these rooms take place. And so you can actually become a member of that club and get access to all of the rooms. So you can just get to them at the click of a button. I would love to see you all here on Wednesday, and I hope you all have an incredible day. If you enjoyed this room or if you want the replay, I would love to hear from you. I'm a words of affirmation person. So if this resonates for you, I would love to hear about it. And you can contact me on Facebook or Instagram, or since this video is going up, you can put it in the comments below on YouTube or wherever you're watching this video. I just ended that Clubhouse room and realized that I didn't talk about what I said that I would, which was how to, once you have gotten to a place where your self-talk is lined up where the most powerful words in the universe, which are the words that you're saying to yourself, are in alignment, and they're never going to be perfect. You're always going to have those ants, those automatic negative thoughts. They are automatic. So as you acknowledge them and just feel them and let them move through your body, you're going to create a positive environment for yourself. And from that positive environment that's happening inside you, more beautiful words are going to automatically come out of your mouth as you speak to other people. And you're going to start using your words to cast positive, beautiful spells and infuse hope into people. So if you've been in a situation where perhaps you're feeling frustrated with someone and you are speaking to them in ways that are keeping that person feeling negatively, when you create and cultivate that beautiful environment in yourself too, you can start finding ways to speak powerful, positive things to them as well. And the most simple way to do this, you already know, and that is to make sure that you are creating with your words the image of what you want to see for that person. So don't tell the person, do this or you're going to screw up. I have a friend who was told, he's a recovering alcoholic, and his sponsor told him, if you get into a relationship, you're probably going to start drinking again. And he cast a spell on that person. And sure enough, when he got into that relationship, he started drinking again. And it was because that person had authority in his life, and he spoke those words to him and they came true. So always be thinking about the picture that your words are creating when you speak to other people, and cast the spell you want instead of the spell you don't want. Because if you're telling people to watch out for negativity, you're actually conditioning them and creating pictures in their unconscious mind that are going to condition them to experience negativity. Okay, and then I want to talk about how having this positive internal environment and saying these positive words to ourselves protects us and insulates us from other people's negative words to us. And one of the simplest ways that I have learned to do this is by adopting a phrase that I learned from my teacher, Mike Mandel. And that is, whenever someone is making us feel negative or saying words that create a negative image for us, just with intention, it's as if you're talking to your unconscious mind. You're talking to the part of you that programs your actions and your beliefs and your thoughts. And just tell that part of you, cancel that suggestion. So sometimes I'll do this if I'm around someone and they're talking about negative, like health issues that they're having, and it's like, I notice myself starting to be afraid of, like, what if I experience that health issue? Or even if you're around someone who might have a cold, I'm not going to get too deep into what kind of what kind of virus it might be. But you can start to protect and insulate yourself by just telling yourself, cancel that suggestion. When you notice yourself starting to feel fear or feel negativity or feel disempowered by someone else's words. And you can even visualize a protective bubble around you, as if when I was a kid, I said, I am rubber, you are glue, whatever you say bounces off me and sticks to you. So you can just imagine their words bouncing off of that bubble. I don't know that you would want them to stick back on them. That's not a very empowering idea, but just imagine yourself being insulated from those words. Okay, I hope that's helpful. And I hope the people who were in my clubhouse room listen to this recording, because I feel bad that I made a promise at the start that I was going to tell how creating a positive environment and shifting your self-talk sets you up for speaking powerful words to others that casts a beautiful spell for them. And it insulates you from other people's spell that they try to cast over you with their words. Have an amazing day, and thank you so much for listening. I am grateful for you.